Systemic racism is built into the status quo of the establishment of the political and media elites. Here's a very clear example. When Hassan Nasrallah was unalived in Lebanon, he was killed by 85 bunker buster bombs, which not just obliterated where he was, but obliterated multiple story buildings. The sheer explosive power vaporized hundreds of people. Even by the estimates of Israel, 300 to 500 people were killed in an instant. They vaporized to the point where you can't even recognize the bodies. Now, the media and political establishment did not bat an eyelid. They did not care. It wasn't even a thought in their head. And then, of course, in recent days, we had Iran in retaliatory strike for the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah, but also, of course, the sheer genocide or ethnic cleansing and a sheer disregard for people who do not belong to their tribe. We saw Iran shoot missiles, and then you had literal Western journalists say things like this.
The U.S. intel view that among the targets were Israeli airfields, but also, and this is crucial, the headquarters of Mossad, the international intelligence service of Israel, which is inside Tel Aviv. It's in the northern part of Tel Aviv, but it's in the city. It's in a densely populated area. And of course, the concern is if you're firing, even though Iran might consider that a military target, it is in a densely populated city with civilians around it. And that's just one more layer of escalation.
Now, obviously, I don't have a dog in this fight in terms of the military, war, military-based interactions. I mean, I'm a pacifist as far as I can be, but the double standards are so obvious, and it reinforces systemic racism very clearly. And then we've got, to illustrate my point, you've got Keir Starmer talking about in this video how Iran are a destabilizing force, how they are escalating the situation, just as the person before had said. Of course, the media and political establishment are seeing eye to eye. Of course, it was a media and political establishment that worked together when it came to manufacturing consent regarding the invasion of Iraq. So it's the same media establishment. This is why a lot of people are moving away from it, but I don't think they're moving away far enough from it. This is why I've started this video project, and in the future, podcasts will also be part of that mix. But have a listen to what Keir Starmer said.
The Iranian regime has launched over 200 ballistic missiles at civilian targets in Israel. It's too soon to assess the impact fully, but I utterly condemn this attempt by the Iranian regime to harm innocent Israelis, to escalate this incredibly dangerous situation and push the region ever closer to the brink. It cannot be tolerated. We stand with Israel and we recognise her right to self-defence in the face of this aggression. Iran must stop these attacks, together with its proxies like Hezbollah. Iran has menaced the Middle East for far too long. Chaos and destruction brought not just to Israel, but to the people they live amongst in Lebanon and beyond. Make no mistake, Britain stands full square against such violence. We support Israel's reasonable demand for the security of its people.
So it's not the 11, 12 months of this peaceful genocide. It wasn't the complete disregard for the sovereignty of Lebanon, the ground invasion, that was a destabilizing force. It wasn't the attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria that was a provocative attack. It wasn't the unaliving of Hamas leaders in Iran. Of course, Iran is its own sovereign state, that was a provocation. Is Iran's response to all those peaceful actions that was a response? Now, here's the thing. I'm not a fan of any totalitarian regimes, but I'm also not a fan of ethnocracies. I'm not a fan of genocidal states. And it is very clear to me that Israel is the provocateur. It is the, what Norman Finkelstein calls, the lunatic juggernaut. If the media and political establishment do not call it out, then we'll quite clearly see polls like this one here reflect that people and the government are not in alignment. And I bet you, obviously right now, we are living in dark times. We're going to see what Israel does in response to Iran. Not a fan of either regimes in the way they, they treat the people, but very clearly, I root for the people on the ground, and I also root against the most destructive elements. And obviously, Israel here is the most destructive force possibly in the world right now. So where do we move from there? From here, I bet you in the next decade, next several decades, you're going to see the kind of the blowback of this current state of affairs, because of course, unless there's a rigorous state building apparatus, this has had to happen in Iraq, where Iraq was completely destabilized. You had ISIS come out of that work, and ISIS being destroyed, of course, or ISIS obviously not a good thing, but the destruction of Saddam Hussein was what led to that phenomenon. Obviously, you're going to have blowback as a result of this, and what the powers that be, the political establishment, I think they are trying to, because they don't believe in diplomacy, and also there's an inherent level of racial supremacy at play that is the guiding force of their states. I feel like they're looking for a capitalism, the resource allocation, and the money of the military-industrial complex to be what will, they're kind of the main objective in the end. Because of course, peace is not their end goal, and that also means that they can't say with a straight face that they care about security, because insecurity is what will breed more war, more weaponry, more investment into this technology that militaries do drive innovation. At the same time, it drives more despair. But all of this is conjecture, because we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't have a clue yet. We do know that you got a juggernaut, lunatic juggernaut on the loose. Iran has responded, no casualties as a result of that. But of course, Israel needs to maintain its deterrence capacity. So what will happen of this, we don't know. But stay tuned. I'll be following this. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. Thank you.